Oil and water. She is oil, he is water. This is how Jay metaphorically describes this relationship. Two different people having nothing in common, no special association nor physical attraction, have decided to journey together through life ahead. It all began in December 23, 2010, when Ding proposed marriage to Jilly on their very first meeting at a pizza house in Baybay. A marriage proposal on their first meeting! It must have come as a shock. But truth be told, indeed, that was their first official meeting since they had only a few encounters before. Only a few cordial conversations. Just mutually accorded smiles in ministry meetings, and, in the case of Jilly, just a few stolen shots of the ideal man she had on her mind. Yet who would have known that God has been preparing them for each other long before their first meeting? That fateful meeting at the pizza house was just the realization of God's plan. The climax of their love story placed at the beginning of their adventure of life together. The convergence of two separate paths and the agreement to the conviction to walk the same path in the journey ahead. But ask Ding about their love story, and he would give you a quick retort. We have none. Why? I proposed marriage to her right on our first meeting. We had no courtship whatsoever. Little did they know that they had in fact a love story. His side of the story begins in October 2007 in San Pedro Island, Hinunangan, Southern Leyte. He was 34 years old then when God prompted him to pray for a lifetime partner in his meditations in Chronicles. But God didn't answer him right then. In fact, God allowed him to have a quick detour and then to a long slumber that he almost forgot the idea that he has to get married. He got caught up in a short-lived long-distance relationship, then to activities of the ministry, building a house, and then pursuing his PhD. In all these, God has been faithful in all of Ding's pursuits. The tiny details of everyday events God carefully arranged. Until, in October 28, 2010, God reminded Ding again of his ultimate plan for him through Genesis 2:18-21. It was then that Ding awoke from his long slumber and prayed again for his lifetime partner. He prayed for signs and revelations, and in November 13, 2010, it was then that he caught his first glimpse of his lifetime partner, when a lady among the crowd in the post-wedding party of Maricel and Nilo subserviently stood up to answer a question raised to the single women in attendance. Her answer impressed him. It corroborated the signs he asked of God. Admittedly, Jilly has had a crush on him for a long time already. But she dismissed the idea, praying to God to focus her attention on being active in the ministry instead. However, God is not amiss not to be able to see the yearnings of her heart. Her story started in San Pedro Island as well, on that same fateful getaway where Ding was also in attendance. She tried to get stolen shots of the man who makes her heart beat faster, if not, skip a beat. Nobody knows of her hidden agenda then, save Julie, her twin. Even the subject of her camera's viewfinder was not privy that he was being sought after. It took some time for the seeds of love God planted in the hearts of these individuals on that October day in San Pedro Island to grow. Today is a celebration of how God has been faithful to them in nurturing that seed. Many events have happened, and many individuals were used as instruments to help them see God's will for them. As Jilly once surmised in her journal, Jesus is indeed the God of order. Looking back at how God unfolded His revelations through her meditations on Scripture and arranged events and circumstances, we suppose she can now truly say on this very day that she is indeed the woman cut out from Ding's rib when God allowed him to sleep for some time. Oil and water. Yes, they may be immiscible. On their own, in natural circumstances, they may be two different individuals. In chemistry, they may be made up of contrasting polars. However, with God holding them together, serving as a magnet making them complement each other, no doubt their love will grow, bloom, and be fruitful.